It's a criminal matter. That doesn't have, the status.
Dr. Nyawotamaklo, good morning to you. Dr. Nyawotamaklo, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning.
Okay. What do you make of the matter that is before the public domain involving the former Minister of Sanitation, and then also the actions ideally that should be taken by the president thereof?
Firstly, I would say I'm really worried. I'm worried in the sense that such a difficult question, unfortunately, my president and communicators who try to be defensive. This is my biggest worry. Because we shouldn't forget one thing, that we have children in this country who are learning what we are doing. Now, if such a clerk, I know Cecilia very, very well. Very, very well.
Mm.
Indeed, I have a common sort of a joke that we always say when we meet.
Mm.
When she sees me, she will say, appear. And I will say, appear. And the two of us understand what it is. I am sure, I am 100% sure, in her heart, she knows that she has committed an offense. I'm 100%. I know Cecilia very well. So what Cecilia should have done was what she did by resigning immediately. I charge any other minister, and they know themselves. So I have got a lot of fuss about them. And the day I'll come out with it, they will be shocked. I charge them to come out boldly and say, they have stolen money from this country, this poor nation. What is going on now is very dangerous. And I've said it time and again, that when the people of this country get annoyed, then we shall see exactly what will happen. It appears that the people of this country are not annoyed. Either we are a pack of cowards or we are not annoyed. But they are in a situation when the people of this country have moved. And when the time comes, they will move. Because what is going on now is unacceptable. Now, let me give you a short example. What happened in Singapore in the 80s. When an official of Lee Kuan Yew, he didn't even spend money, but he used the land, an architect, he used the land which doesn't belong to him. The case went to court. He approached the then Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew to see if he can help it or he could help it. Lee Kuan Yew told him point blank, go and see your lawyer. I can't come in. He was the Prime Minister or President at that time. Now, the man felt it was so shameful a development, and he committed suicide. He committed suicide. So, those of you who have been defending the wrong in this country, you know that what you are doing is wrong, and yet you do it.
All right, Dr.
These communicators who think they can come and defend the wrong, they should continue.
All right.
That's all that I will say. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nyawotamaklo.
Roland, you had to end.
No, he hadn't finished. He just started.
And then you cut, and I want to say a good morning to my old man, Doctor. Saturday I met him. Look.
In your meeting?
No, at home. I mean, that's an elder. You see, they paid. And that is where I want to emphasize. Look, don't make this mistake again.
Which one?
What do you
That
mean?
in your corruption conversation, you introduce the clean John Mahama. Look, hold on. The way Akufo-Addo is, if he had even gotten a small evidence, even a smoking gun against John Mahama, within the first 3 years, when he had no immunity, Akufo-Addo would have put John Mahama on trial. Look, they did every investigation on this earth. John Mahama came clean. There's an Akufo-Addo that we saw taking a bribe of $40,000. The video.
This
you
is a
saw
lie.
the video.
This is a lie.
Oh, which is a lie?
Opposition.
You saw the video.
Campaign
Please,
contribution.
It's okay. It's okay.
Oh, it was campaign
Opposition
contribution.
campaign contribution
No,
that
it's
people
okay,
came
it's okay.
and donated to shares.
Eduji, this matter
It was
has
not
been
even
raised here.
dollars.
No, it's okay. Eduji, this
It
matter
was
has
in
been
what?
Eduji, this matter has been raised here. That video in circulation, and you know it.
I don't know.
Okay.
It's okay. Then we will educate you.
It was in his office at Dima when he hadn't come into office.
Oh.
That video.
You
where he
listen.
was-
You didn't know. So listen.
You saw the timing that he received the money.
We saw the individual.
Roland, no. You saw the time
At
that
no
he
point
received the
in
money.
time.
The $40,000.
Is there any evidence of him collecting any envelope on video while he was in office? There's no part of that in his office.
No, please. That video. Do you know the time it was taken?
We knew the time.
What time was it?
But it was the
only-
lead up to
No,
the
it was
2016
Mr.
election.
Mr. Eduji,
You are such a barefaced
Mr.
liar.
I just want to.
I'm not a liar calling me a liar.
I just want to
A real
put the
liar.
matters into
You know,
perspective.
you see, there's a video evidence for the first time.
Not when he was in office.
How do you know?
We are telling you
Because
that
time he was
people
not
can
in
see the
I am
precinct.
saying that there's video evidence of Mr.
Where is
Akufo-Addo
that?
receiving
Can
money.
we see that evidence?
Not when he was
$40,000.
in office.
When?
When?
When he became president, when he had been elected.
Easy.
Oh,
You see,
this-
No, let's not get
and,
into
and you
it.
see,
It's okay.
and you see,
Please
and
make
you
your
see,
point and
and you
leave
see,
this
I will
thing.
make
Why are
my
you lying?
point. I will
Mr.
make my
Saka,
point.
okay.
Thank you.
There's no lie here. Video evidence is
Please,
there.
not when he was in
You
office. I think
are
we all have
putting
to
a
be. You are,
different interpretation
no,
of
I'm
it.
not. I'm
I
not
am
putting.
saying that
I'm
when
not-
he became-
at the time when the video came out, he was not in office.
Who said it?
But
I
that
saw the
office
video
was the name, because that was when
toward
you
the
saw it.
2020
That was
election.
that was when you saw it.
No, but
and
it
this
was
one was
toward the
even
2020
You see,
election.
you are a liar. Towards
2016
2016 election.
It's okay. Please move on.
2020
Move on with the
election.
subject.
2016, I
Move
never
on with the
saw any
subject,
video.
Eduji.
But you see, back to the issue. As we speak, look at the number of Ghanaians, individual bondholders, persons who decided to save their monies in government instruments. Today, they are having to picket. Even with the picketing, they are not getting their money. What this conversation tells you is that
You're repeating yourself.
key government officials became aware that government was going to restructure. So they shared that information among themselves, that we are going to restructure the debts people owe, or we owe them. And so keep your monies at home.
Who told you this?
No, but that is what it is showing. If you have this money, why was it not put in the financial institutions? Why was she keeping it at
So
home?
Okuja told once, you people inform
And it
me.
was deliberately done. So that whilst others are suffering today,
There's no law against you keeping your money at home.
it's
You
not-
are advised
no.
against all forms of caution and
It's not
security.
a question of law. Your sense is there first. You are supposed to be wise. But you see, why do you think government officials have this kind of money sitting in their houses? If you read the Auditor General's report on COVID-19, the Auditor General appointed by Mr. Akufo-Addo says that in his report, the special report on COVID, that 500 million Ghana cedis of COVID funds were paid to contractors outside the GIFME system. Why do you think Akufo-Addo will share 500 million of taxpayers' money, COVID money, outside the GIFME system? What is he hiding? Because the government system is supposed to provide you a transparent tracing mechanism so that you can easily identify that this money went to A or B, because the government system will capture everything. 500 million Ghana cedis. How much are we with the IMF asking for? 3 billion. So the point ought to be made clear that the current managers of our system, right, deliberately do not see the suffering that Ghanaians are going through. And even when they are caught, instead of coming out to apologize to Ghanaians, what they do is to come and insult our intelligence. Do you know that even the current charge sheet that is in court is an amended charge sheet?
Yes.
Even the amended charge sheet
is it wrong?
Maintain the same figure. Look, I have with me a copy of the charge sheet, and in fact, I was going through it.
The amended one.
This amended charge sheet filed on the 5th of July 2020.
So what was amended? Is it the figure?
Please. Stealing, contrary to section 134.
Yes.
Particulars. Patience Botry, 18 years. Hairdresser. Between the period of July and October 2022, at Abelenkwe, in the Greater Accra region and within the jurisdiction of this court, did dishonestly appropriate cash, the sum of $1 million, the property of Cecilia Abena Dapaah. What are you talking about?
Roland.
This is amended.
No. What was amended? Is it the figure that was amended, or the charge or something else?
This charge sheet is even less than a month old.
What are you
It's the
talking about?
latest amended charge sheet. So if Madam comes out to say that the figures are inconsistent, did you see why she couldn't put the figure out? If you are saying that what the public document, the charge sheet filed by authorized personnel is inconsistent in her statement, do you know why she couldn't have the courage? Because there's a confession statement given by the accused persons, and they specifically mention the amount they stole. Are they going to change the confession statement as well?
Oh, come on.
You don't know what is going on. And like I pointed out, some of the monies had already been retrieved. And if you read the facts, they themselves admit that there had been confessions on the part of the accused persons. And those confession statements were signed.
What did you wrap up for me?
Are you going to amend the confession statement as well? So, Madam Cecilia, and your appointing authority, Mr. Akufo-Addo, stop insulting Ghanaians.
But the question is that she has resigned. So
it ends it. So we should go and sleep.
Should the matter end or not?
How can it end? This is just the beginning. And what this whole Cecilia Dapaah thing further exposes, right, is the various mechanisms that government appointees of Mr. Akufo-Addo are laundering money. And because they fear the financial system, because if you do the deposit, Financial Intelligence Center and co are monitoring.
You're a lawyer.
Yes.
There's no law against you keeping money.
It's not about the law.
He's not talking law here.
It's not about the law. Please.
It's whether the decision needs to be taken by the president to investigate it, right?
You see, in money laundering conversation,
Forget that.
the money laundering conversation, the burden is on you to even show the source of funds. Let's start this conversation. Why? Don't rush. Right. The interesting thing with the law, if you look at the anti-money laundering law, when you are charged with anti-money laundering charge, right, the burden is always on you to prove the source of the funds. And I'm saying that one reasonable conclusion or inference one can make is that you want to keep that bulk or that huge sums of money. And remember that what is stolen is not all. It's some. So if part of what is stolen is even 50 million Ghana cedis, can you imagine what the whole is?
Ediji, at the end of the day, everyone is calling for some level of investigation. What sort of investigation should be put together by the president? And
No. At this point, Akufo-Addo can't put any investigation together because he has already expressed confidence that the integrity of the woman will be established. When you reach a conclusion, you will not be going through where to get there. So, unfortunately, we do not have too many of this organization that can help. Maybe worst case scenario, the office of the special prosecutor. That's the worst we can have. Because Yoko...
So when is the president going to make sure that at the end of the day, her integrity comes out clean?
I will answer that in a minute.
I don't have the time, please. I started with you, so...
Don't worry.
You've given
First of all, I think that he used certain words against the government that I asked him to retract and apologize, and he refused. You see, but for the respect I have for the viewers, I would have used such unprintable words that he himself would have been sorry for himself. Because, I mean, can you imagine an NDC government that plunged this nation into doomsday for 4 years? The one who superintended over it, his predecessor, Professor Mills, set a committee to investigate John Dramani Mahama on the embryo matter. And when Professor Mills died, John Mahama took office and he dissolved that committee. You remember for the expedition, he took it, and when he was called, he said, "Oh, but I brought it, it's in the castle now. Go and take." You remember our name, the name of this nation was pulverized, became something else. Became something else. You see, was smeared, was grind into pieces because our former president had involved himself in Airbus, that the UK and the US parliaments were talking about it. We're talking about it. And such a person, you said that we don't have iota of anything to prove against him. And that is the reason why we kept quiet. And you know that in law, I mean, at any time, such a criminal matter can be resurrected. It doesn't have a status bound. He talked about, okay, let me make this point. When you were saying it was not Ofosu Kwakye Rollins was referring to and all, the Rollins referred to him as the little character, that little character.
So how did you come to
that little character? So he mentioned his name, even though, you see, because
the little character is the name.
You see, he mentioned his name, but because I don't have time,
he didn't mention.
I will not go into debating that one with you. So I'm saying that if you look at this matter, the president has not even in the first place set any committee to investigate. To investigate what in the first place? If it becomes necessary that she should be investigated, fair enough. But if I lost my money, and I know that I got my money through legitimate means, this nation, we have seen people, drive expensive cars around and do all manner of things. Nobody says anything. Where Vicky Hammer had that problem. Vicky Hammer was not even sacked. I'm hearing some people say that she was sacked. She resigned. Her own volition. It was not John Dramani Mahama that sacked her. She resigned. But you see, they are creating impression that, Vicky Hammer even was sacked because he expressed interest in acquiring 1 million. If you interest such interest that do not order well with the office, the code of conduct of the office, you should be sacked, not even allowed to, go, just go like that. In this case, this woman had been shortchanged. She has been stolen. I mean, her goods have been stolen. Her husband's goods, monies have been stolen, and all that, including her. And then you say that, you should defend the perpetrators, the thieves. What Eduji and Co are doing is that they are defending the thieves who perpetrated wrong criminal acts against the state. What they did is not just against Madam Cecilia Abena Dapaah. It's against the state. And a lawyer is sitting here defending those criminals. That is a worry to me, to everybody. And for me, I think that Nanado does not subscribe to people acquiring wealth through illegal means. If there is somebody who have acquired wealth through illegal means in his government, he will not miss that opportunity to expose that person. Right. So I think that the MPP shouldn't be worried that such a thing is coming up. Right. The MPP is a very clean political party.
Thank you for...
And will not shield anybody who has done anything wrong.
Okay. Thank you, Saka. And then thank you to Lawyer Duji. I have this one from Shams who says that why is it that whenever a mess is created, the MPP put up other communicators to accomplish their strategy? Why is it that we don't have Samir Uku, Opon Kruma, and others come to defend this? And this from Sham Sakra.
When I came here last
And then also I have some Yali who says, who are the members of the committee he's talking about? Is he talking about Airbus? Just remind him of Al Jazeera.
Not Airbus. I said the embryos. Professor Mills set a committee. The interior minister then was the chairman of that committee. Martin Amidu said it.
Okay. So let me just acknowledge a couple of you also on our streams, and thank you very much for passing through this morning. And all of you who have joined us, Ni Kwe Fred, Edward Dubazan, and then also we have Dennis Akwete, Ras Kotoka. You are saying that we should allow you to phone in as well. We'll talk about that with our producers and then
Roland,
I don't have the
30
time.
seconds. It's clear on this table that first of all, the corrupt Akufo-Addo administration would have to struggle to get equalization. And let the record be said this morning.
I'm sure they didn't even bring
that John Mahama remains clean.
We're taking a break. We'll be right back.